To save water and other issues is our focus on. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Thank you for joining us. We begin with the president's visit to Japan. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed Abuja for Japan to participate in the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD, from August 28th to 30th, 2019. President Buhari is accompanied by Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno, Abdurrahman Abdurazak of Kwara, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, as well as ministers and other top government officials, with the theme Africa and Yokohama, sharing passion for the future. President Buhari will deliver Nigeria's statement during plenary session 3, in which he will appraise Nigeria-Japan relations and takeaways from TICAD 6. The president will also attend other major and side events in Japan and hold a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He will also meet Chief Executive Officer of the Japan companies with huge investments in Nigeria. The presidency has debunked recent media and social media reports on change in the responsibilities of the Chief of Staff to the President. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media Publicity, Garba Shehu, notes that the role of Chief of Staff remains the same as it was in the first term of the president. The Chief of Staff is to act as the head of the presidential administration at Aso Rock, an advisor to the president on any and all matters, and the line manager for all staff at Aso Rock. He is also to manage appointments and scheduling for the president. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, on the other hand, is responsible for ensuring the effective coordination and monitoring of the implementation of government policies and programs, and all cabinet matters must go through him. The statement stresses that access to the president is open to ministers, and it is not true that this is denied them in the second term. Funding support to boost agricultural activities in Nasarawa State is getting more attention from the federal government under Nigeria Incentives Risk-Sharing Agricultural Lending of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The initiative is anchored on 5 cardinal guidelines, including insurance, technical assistance, pillar, and rating towards improving productivity. Implementation of the program is driven by 90 billion naira support grant under the CBN for agricultural development in the country.
See the opportunities in Nasarawa State, match it with our TTMPs, tools, techniques, methodologies, and processes, and see how we can put them together and come up with a working and implementable document that will redefine agribusiness in the state.
Governor Abdullahi Sule explains that Nasarawa State is prioritizing agriculture as key area of its industrialization project and assures the bank of effective utilization of the funds. He appeals to genuine farmers and critical stakeholders to collaborate closely with the bank and obtain technical knowledge on achieving desired results.
The reason why we are in this is we want to keep our youth active. We want to keep them in business so that they can remain in business, so they have something to do, so they have income, so they have independent, and those are the kind of things I think they are going to teach you during this process. And I want you to be devoted to it, committed to this, the way we are, so that at the end of the day we benefit from it.
Governor Sule commends the federal government for development of agriculture and economic diversification. In Lafia, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission is working with relevant bodies to unravel the cause of the death of a Nigerian in Ukraine. Chairman Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Abike Dabre-Rewa, while commiserating with the family of the deceased in Lagos, gave assurance of justice. Abolade Salami reports.
in Ukraine intensifies efforts through petition to the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the police to uncover circumstances surrounding the death of a Nigerian medical doctor, Gbolahan Ejemai, in Ukraine. But Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has met with the family to console them of the sudden demise of their son, with an assurance that the commission will get to the roots of his death.
And you want to know that your son got justice in death. And that's why we all have to ensure that we keep it's going to take a while, but I'm going to keep at it. I will not stop.
She reassured the Ejemai's family that regardless of time and persons involved, justice will be pursued. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The gap in access to safe water, which continues to widen between urban and rural areas, continues to be a threat to the attainment of Sustainable Development Goal 6 for many countries of the world. How to turn the tide will be the focus as experts and relevant stakeholders converge on Stockholm for the World Water Week, with the theme Water for Society, including all. Correspondent Musbaud Anwahab contextualizes the theme of the event in Nigeria's scenario.
This nearly impossible road leads to Kuduma, Abuja. It might be a signal to Watergate in terms of infrastructure in this FCT satellite community. Also, a common welcoming feature is the presence of Merua around. This water facility is where vendors like Abdullahi get the water auto supply. With 15 naira per keg of water, the residents are also at the mercy of the electricity company to get the essential commodity.
A big problem because if light no, they cannot see water. Sometime a month we have like 4 days a month or 5 days a month.
Residents in their neighboring Guzape village are not having it better. 15 naira per keg is what Godwin and others do to get water here. Their water scarcity plight is being complicated by their rocky terrain.
Generally, if you sink borehole here, it takes the grace of God, a special grace of God, for you to get water.
Kurduma and Guzape are the surrounding villages of Asokoro extension in Abuja. But unlike in those villages, safe water is part of the amenities being taken for granted in this highbrow area. Ability to source for oneself has widened the gap of access to safe water between the urban and rural dwellers. Resultantly, about 32% of Nigerian population forms part of the 2.2 billion people around the world who lack safe water. But racing against national and international targets, stakeholders believe the National Wash Action Plan, launched late last year by President Muhammadu Buhari, is a milestone amongst those needed to drive the sector.
We have the same government in power. What they really need to do now is to action that state of emergency. The federal government has put in place a number of policies that are in the right direction, but these policies are not trickling down to the state level. So I think that the state governments are the ones that really need to sit up.
Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu, on his return, his first major assignment is to lead Nigeria's delegation to the world stage in search of new ideas and technology, and very importantly too, international support to improve the country's wash sector. Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
Joining me in the studio to discuss further on the access to water is Mr. Kashim Ali, Chairman, FCT Water Board. Sir, you are welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much.
All right, now to start with, what would you say on the gap, between getting access to potable water, considering the theme that says water for society and for all?
Thank you very much. Well, there's a wide gap in terms of availability for use of potable water. But on Earth, we have a lot of water because over 70% of the Earth is water. And that's why, and even though about 70% of our body is water, so that's why I say water for life. So if there's no water, nobody can survive for, say, maximum of 40 days. Nobody will survive without water. So we need it. But what we have in shortages is potable water. And that is water that is suitable without any further treatment for consumption. There is a dearth of investment in water because sometimes I try to attribute cultural reason, because if you look at our settlement pattern in Nigeria, most settlements are around streams. People look for streams to settle around them so that they can have water. So the people eventually fetch water from the streams, and in the other places where there are no streams, people will look for places they can dig wells and have water, and in recent time, boreholes also. But so that has created a very big problem. Today, the coverage for water supply, potable water supply in Nigeria is not up to, it's just in the region of 40%. That is not good enough after so many years of independence. So there's need, therefore, for a lot of investment, a lot more investment in water, because we shouldn't take it for granted that people can have access to stream water and all the rest, that should be enough. Certainly not enough.
All right, talking about the percentage you just mentioned, 40%, the gap is huge. Yeah. All right, let's look at the people, in the city areas. They have access to this potable drinking water, but those in the rural areas have not. Now, what do you think can be done to close this gap?
Yeah, okay, if I use the FCT as an example, water supply is part of the development process of the Abuja. Now, everywhere there is infrastructure project in Abuja, when you are doing roads, you also do the water lines alongside. But anywhere you don't have roads also, you don't have water lines, because it's supposed to be going along with the development of the city. So most of the people who have no water in Abuja are those who are living outside the developed areas. You see, we have done phase 1. Nobody in phase 1 will say has no water. Nobody in phase 2 will also say they have no water. It's only part of phase 2 anyway. And then, but post in phase 3, most of them don't have water because development has not got into a substantial part of those areas. But any area will have development. So that's why you have the and the satellite towns also do have water. Initially, there was supposed to be separate water supply for the satellite town, but with the spiraling growth of the population in those areas, the government changed its policy again to now say, okay, the water supply for the city should also be extended to the satellite town. That's why I have water in the satellite town. But beyond the satellite town, we have the challenge. What can happen, therefore, will be that we accelerate the pace of development of the Abuja. But for the states, the story is a little more complicated, because even the state capitals also have challenges of water. I can't recall any state in Nigeria where you have water supply in abundance, even though the sources are available. It's still restricted. So the states need to wake up from their slumber and recognize water supply as an indication of development. Because you can't say you're a developed society when you cannot provide water, potable water for your people.
All right, now let's come down to the FCT. What is the situation in the FCT, the situation of water supply, potable one?
The situation, we don't have bad news to give in FCT. Like I said, the provision of water supply was an integrated part of the development of the city. That's why anywhere you have roads and you have power and everything, you must have water. If there's no water, then there is something wrong. In fact, there's no such situation anyway. You do have water. There's a lot of work done in also sourcing for raw water. We do have enough raw water to last us for not less than 30 to 50 years.
But if you look at the suburb, they have at least reasonable development there, but still the potable water is lacking in some areas.
Development is relative, because if you look, there is a standard process of development where you have roads well laid out as in line with if it's individual development, because in truth there are some estates that are way out of the city, but if you go into the estates, they are well developed. Some of the developers are careful enough to do proper infrastructure there. So they look like city, the condition is just like the city. But the development of the city itself has not got there. So they can't therefore access public water supply, because in doing that, it will mean taking maybe a pipeline across streets, crossing roads and other planned areas into such places. Whereas if the development had reached there, then there will be water at a reasonable point to serve them.
Okay, now that brings us to the source of water itself, the proliferation of boreholes, drilling, all that. What do you think is the effect of that on the environment?
Yeah, it's not a proper thing to do. But in truth, anybody in the city who is surviving on borehole water is just being unreasonable and unreasonable. Let me stop at that. Let me not use any other stronger word. The truth is, within the city we do have water. And at the beginning of Abuja, and I want to talk to those people directly, I have done that about 12, 13 years ago. I need to say it again. At the beginning of Abuja, when the sewage system was being constructed, already people had settled in, there was need to discharge sewer. So most of the sewer was discharged into existing natural water courses. So you do have a lot of pollution of the natural courses. Some of the streams in Abuja and the city are well polluted. They are cleaning out now, but they were well polluted at that time. So if you did a borehole around those areas, like in Metama and Co., you are going to have your borehole feeding from the polluted water.
Okay.
So most of them had poor quality water at that time. And what we did in the water board was to go around. We had a mobile laboratory that tested some of the boreholes. Some of them were water was found to be septic, and they had to be shut down. So it's advisable that whoever wants to do a borehole in the city, please go to the water board. If there's a need for it at all, they will have to test and tell you that the quality of water is okay for human consumption. Otherwise, you drink the water and go to hospital.
All right, now looking at earth tremor, I think of recent, FCT has recorded that. So now the effect of borehole on
beyond that, you see, at times because there are no existing regulation at a point, people were just drilling as they like. And when you drill, the water you are drilling into is Commonwealth. So you don't, but there's a regulation now. There's a regulation that before you drill a borehole, you need to get permission. Okay. So tests will be done to be sure that it's okay to do the borehole. But if not, you will not be given the license to do it. And that is part of what the Water Resources Ministry was even doing by having this water bill. It's part of the integral part of what they wanted to do under the water bill. But there's a regulation on ground.
Okay, it's nice speaking with you, Mr. Kashim Ali, Chairman, FCT Water Board. Thank you for coming on Panorama.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've been speaking with Kashim Ali, the Chairman, FCT Water Board, and we've been talking about the portable water supply. Time now to take a break. There will be more news after the break.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thank you for rejoining us on Panorama. Now, Nigeria and the 14 other countries of Economic Communities of West African States, ECOWAS, have set a target to eradicate rabies in the region by 2023. This, they say, will be achieved through massive campaign for vaccination and control of stray dogs. Musbaut and Wahab reports.
Old Joy Donatos has always had phobia about dogs. It was as a result of this fear she was bitten by a dog in her neighborhood. She says she was not taken to a hospital, nor did dog be examined if it has rabies or other related diseases.
I was not taken to the hospital. They only used a black stone to put at the place that the dog bites me.
Not all victims of dog's bite are as lucky as Joy without contracting rabies, especially from stray dogs.
It's not right for you to hold dog, you have dog, and you release the dog, you allow the dog to roam here and there, free roaming. We call them free roaming dogs. We don't want that in our community.
The World Health Organization says rabies, a zoonotic disease, kills an estimated 25,000 people, with about one death every 20 minutes in Africa.
But in fact, this figure is for sure underestimated. There are many places in the world, in Africa, in Asia, where the diagnostic of rabies is not done. So the people who die because of rabies in remote villages, in areas where the diagnostic is not performed.
The high cases of rabies in West Africa have become a major concern among veterinary doctors under the ECOWAS.
It will be shameful if we are unable to take the rightful steps to be there by 2030, that we will be fit. We will have created enabling environment for total elimination of rabies. This is the challenge all of us are facing here. How do we get it done?
Nigerian representatives at the meeting are of the view that addressing cases of stray dogs and registration of pets and vaccination is a challenge in Nigeria. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
That was Musa Baba Aliu's story and not Musbaut and Wahab, as I earlier mentioned. And now to sports. Nigeria's D Tigers clinch Maiden Peak Invitational Tournament title in China. Kenema Budike brings us details.